Quite important to have programmes with older people in them.
Presumably because oldies can provide great wisdom and insight.
What a lovely morning it is too.
It's been raining, you cretin.
The middle-aged wanted to be like Diana. The elderly were fighting to be like her or had already become like her. And the young just love it when they see older people, particularly the elderly, really kicking over the traces.
I've still got my balls, thank you very much.
They just love it. Anarchy, yeah.
Talk to me, you bastard!
It was quite satisfying to have a swipe every now and again.
Merry Christmas! Oh.
I did rather enjoy doing it. Isn't that frightful? But anyway, there you go.
Come here, you malevolent little weasel.
Oh, Diana!
I love that eccentricity in old people. You don't quite know what they're going to get up to next.
Where is my nightie?
On top of the wardrobe.
We'd not seen this before. My God, what is this all about? Old people and sex? Oh, tut, tut.
We didn't make love, did we?
Oh, yes, we did that.
Oh, my God.
I thought we might get a lot of colonels from Tunbridge Wells saying, oh, God, it's absolutely frightful. But no, not at all.
Diana,
Yes?
can we do it again?
Graham and I thought nobody is going to take to two elderly people in a residential home, but they did. I think because they were so feisty and they fought the system, and people love to see people fighting the system.
You're an icon.
Bollocks!
It may have been the big Christmas hit, but our poll was carried out last summer when you voted The Office in at a measly number 25.
I mean, you always get the odd person who doesn't appreciate what you're doing, shout silly things, but...
What sort of things?
You beardy
Egotistical, deluded, vain. David Brent is the heart, soul and enormous stomach of The Office.
The Office, just for me, is amazing.
That's that ruined, isn't it? That's what I was...
It's that level of reality where you just want to look away.
I've never come over a little queer.
I love The Office. Ricky Gervais always seems to be humiliating himself.
Bring your boyfriend down tonight if you want.
I don't have a boyfriend.
Whatever.
Oh, sorry. I like bosses like that, because you get away with murder.
Exterminate.
All you have to do is laugh at their jokes, and that's it. He's your mate.
I suppose I've created an atmosphere where I'm a friend first and a boss second. Probably an entertainer third.
I've worked for a David Brent type character, right? And to me, I was just like, you're such a wanker.
He's a tit. He's a twerp. He's a knob.
He's all those things. He's a twerty tit knob.
If we're handing out insults, let's have a go at him. Look at him. Why? And he's got glasses. Let's call... 4 eyes as well. Why don't we call him Fatty Fatty Toad Boy if we're, you know, at least start on him and then move on.
Nothing more magnificent than watching a car crash well orchestrated.
I don't think you pull women like the cause with that sort of attitude, Chris, so...
Yeah, because you know.
Well, I don't know what you're laughing, because I'm a dark horse, so you don't...
Yeah, like you could get anyone like the cause. Yeah, if you watch a real documentary, they've pieced together stuff that happened in real life. So we wanted to get that sense like we've cobbled it together.
No, give me end up with the brother. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, I'd push the brother out the room, I'd get the other 3 and I'd bend them all over, and I'd do the drummer, the lead singer, and that one who plays violin. When a camera's, you know, pointed at a normal person, they think, this is my chance, this is my platform. I can tell the world all my great philosophies on life. There are things that I will never laugh at. The handicapped. Because there's nothing funny about them. Or any, you know, deformity. Yeah? It's like when you see someone look at a little handicapped and go, oh, look at him, he's not able-bodied, I am, I'm prejudiced, yeah? Well, at least the little handicapped fella is able-minded. Unless he's not, it's difficult to tell with the wheelchair ones, so just give generously to all of them.
I remember you described it as better than Dickens. Didn't you?
Yeah. It is.
Well, inevitably we had to show it, the so-called hilarious dance scene. Apparently, American TV's planning to remake The Office with, rumour has it, David Brent to be played by one Brad Pitt. Inevitable, really.
I've met bits of her. And sometimes I've met nearly the whole of her. And that is why we love her, because I will bet that everybody knows somebody who is a little bit like her.
The Bouquet residence, the lady of the house speaking.
Hyacinth Bucket, I'm sorry, Bouquet. A wonderful battle axe, yes, she was a battle axe par excellence.
Drive on, be firm. Not in your gardening shoes, Richard. Get something on. You shouldn't be answering the phone to ladies in that condition.
I have been called the Hyacinth Bouquet of the Tory party. I think it's just because she was rather loud, rather bossy, which I suppose is what I do sometimes.
I object to having second-class stamps thrust through my letterbox. I should have thought postmen would be trained to recognise first-class stamp houses.
Keeping Up Appearances, if you like, was the last of the great class sitcoms. It lends itself to all sorts of pretensions being pricked by bad, funny, farcical circumstances.
Oh, no.
And like so many of us, Hyacinth is let down by her very own family.
Around her are relations who constantly let her down.
She'll go mad.
That could be an improvement. Her nemesis is brother-in-law Onslow.
They're coming in.
Well, of course they're coming in.
Now, I want you to get that car away from this property. I want them and it out of the avenue.
She's off her head. I mean, she's a lunatic, you know.
How can a place look like this 50 years after the Blitz?
She doesn't live for herself. She lives for everyone around her, seeing that she's living that way.
Elizabeth, if you could pass round my Royal Doulton with the hand-painted periwinkles. But I'm not standing here surrounded by expensive wallpaper to be given details like that.
What a disaster to my tea and light refreshments.
Women especially always say, oh, I've got a friend who's just like that. But within 5 minutes of talking to them, you realise that they're raging Mrs. Buckets themselves, you know. So they never see it in themselves.
I never like leaving things to chance. It's the mark of the thoughtful hostess.